what's necessary to make a crazy beat, a dope beat, a good beat, a hit beat. It's just the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Every song, it's a different key element to different songs and different producers that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a flute, it might be an 808, it might be a clap, it might be a snare. So it's gonna vary, but I just say, like, when it's time to make a hit beat, you just gotta have that vibe. I'm Jetsonmade and you watching Making. Me and DaBaby really linked up through a mutual, a cameraman named Savani. You know what I mean? Savani was like real instrumental in like helping building up the scene in the Carolinas at the time. So we were trying to expand out of South Carolina because I been had South Carolina on lock, you know what I'm saying, musically. So we was like, man, we need to tap in with whoever big in North Carolina. And at the time, DaBaby was the only rapper who was big besides J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? He was the biggest upcoming rapper. So Savannah was like, man, rock with him. So I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. It was time for that new hit. Like, you don't really want to come in the game as a new artist and then sounding old. You get what I'm saying? So I just went in there with the mentality like, okay, he need that Jetson. You feel me? And I was like, this is my time to, you know what I'm saying, to really show like what I'm really on. So I knew it was for him because we made it together, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, we sat in the and I really cooked it up in his face. And creating SUGE, man, that was a quick beat. It was like 10 minutes. I think bro was like texting, you know what I mean? So I know it was one part, I put one 808 in and he was like, man, nah, take that out. But then after that, I took it out and added a couple more little things, Pooh added a couple more little things, and we was lit probably like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So it really wasn't, it was kind of like a no-brainer beat. He was just there and I cooked it up. I realized SUGE was a hit when after it was recorded, like right after. We listened to it about 20 times. So that's when I knew it was a hit. DaBaby first reaction to SUGE was just like everybody else's reaction in the room. It was like, yep, we got one. I made BOP at the time where I was like, okay, I'm popping now. I'm finna be popping. I was like, I'm on a whole new drip. You get what I'm saying? I always like to elevate, so when I did BOP, it'd be times where I just come in at the crib and I make 15 to 20 beats in a day just to have beats, you know what I mean? Because everybody would be blowing me up, whatever. So I just ended up sending him like 30 beats one day, and he sent me BOP that. I realized BOP was a hit as soon as I heard it. You feel me? Like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this the next one. I started really producing seriously when I was 12. That was when I was on the computer. You know what I mean? 12. I started on Fruity Loops. Then when I turned 14 for Christmas, my folks bought me my first Mac. So I switched over to GarageBand and then Logic for a couple of years. So my interest for music initially came from just being around it so much and actually going to the studio, you know what I'm saying, for my first time. That's what like really gave me my interest in making beats. But musically, I just always been in church, always been around music, I always loved music. So it was kind of natural. Like my mama told me when she was pregnant with me, she used to sing in the shower with me. So I always been into music like since I was born. Growing up in church, like it helped me develop my ear, you know what I'm saying, as far as for like soulful, you know what I'm saying, just chords and progressions and stuff like that. So when I was in church, I was playing the drums every Sunday, and I kind of like was teaching myself the piano till my mom put me in piano lessons for a little while. So church definitely helped me out a lot because it gave me that time to be creative and soulful. When I make beats, I always switch up, you know what I'm saying, every 3 to 6 months. You know what I mean? Just because I always elevate and I'm always on something new. I had a lot of favorite producers growing up, Timbaland, Zaytoven. You know, I can name them. Ryan Leslie was like one of the key people because it kind of like locked me in visually and musically. When I started really making beats and got serious, it was like the trap era. You know what I mean? Like the heavy trap era. So that's what everybody wanted to hear. And I'm a Leo, you know what I'm saying? My sound a Leo, so I'm real like stubborn. So I ain't going I'm like, people like, man, I want my like this and this. I'm like, man, I don't make beats like that. You get what I'm saying? So that kind of locked me in the dungeon even more to develop my sound even more. So just in the beginning it was just, it was kind of hard selling beats, you know what I mean? The moment that inspired me to make the beat for SUGE was, for like my career, I always been trying to put myself ahead, so I just seen the direction that the baby career was going in, you feel me? And I was so tapped in, like, I just told myself, like, I'm gonna attach myself to this, because I know it's gonna be something, you know what I'm saying? I know it's gonna be something big, or I can help it become something big. So I just went in the studio, I had hit mentality on my brain, so I'm like, this the last day I'm here, I gotta make a hit tonight. Shoot, I went to the studio and know what I did. The craziest experience that I had was earlier this year. I was in Paris during Fashion Week, and I'm in the Uber. I'm like super scared, kinda, cause I'm by myself at the time, so I'm like, man, I'm riding through Paris. I don't know what's going on, and the guy played the radio, and his BOP playing, and I'm like, wow. And he really like singing in his little accent. I'm like, wow, like, this is real, you feel what I'm saying? Like, this music connecting with people all across the globe. Like, that was one of my times where I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I had to call my mama. Like, the main thing I took from my experience with working with DaBaby is, sure, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really follow up what nobody else doing. You gotta stick down your path. You get what I'm saying? You gotta continue to work no matter what. And you gotta realize, like, the music business is the music business. You feel me? So you gotta stick down your path.
Go where I want, good. Play if you want, Jetsonmade. I'm a young CEO, SUGE. Yeah.